Hello traders, John from Crypto Candlestick Trading. Just want to do a quick update on Bitcoin. It's 6 o'clock at night, so we're well and truly into the day, being this candle started at 10 o'clock. So there's a few things that I'm seeing here. Let's just go through if we wanted to buy this. What reasons would we have to buy? Now, let's just have a look at the weekly chart. And what I can see here is that we are making still, I'm just going to shrink this right up so we can kind of see all the way back. And so that was our, let's shrink it all the way. So this is on the weekly chart here that we've got now. And here we can see that, as Bitcoin started, we went up to 20,000. And then we came all the way back down and we reached the 200. And then we went up and kind of floated around a bit. I don't know what it's, 2 seconds. All the way down from the lows here up to 20,000. Beautiful. And then all the way down, and it came down to the 20. Went up and broke the 50, up, found resistance at that level, and then came down, bounced on the 50, went through it, and then we found support again at the 200. Or, it came down to 4,000 and then closed around the 200 for support. Then we went up, made new highs, new lows, and then all the way up, found support at the 50, found support at the 50, broken through the 50. Now, looking at this as a buy, we are definitely still making higher highs and higher lows. But this congestion here is not looking very good. So we've got looks like a shoulder pattern, a head pattern, and another shoulder pattern, which is going through and finding support there. So there's a few things that are good for this for a buy, and they are that this is still making higher highs and higher lows. By definition, we are still in an uptrend. Now let's just have a look at but also another thing that I did want to point out for the buying. Stochastics are oversold. We've got a level of support here that we're, it's only reasonably small kind of support that we're looking at, but this is on the weekly chart. And, we are in an uptrend. So that's about all I can find as potentials to buy, which is not very many. Now let's just have a look at the other side. If I wanted to sell this, okay, gone up. Yep, it's looking good. And then all of a sudden we have it's had three nice little pops up there, and then we've had dojis, another nice try, and then we've got like a shooting star spinning top looking thing here after the doji's indecision, and then bang, engulfing, decision made. And then we've got a spinning top, and then we've got a big candle that's kind of taken us all the way back, and now we're closed below the 50. So, and we've closed below the previous low. Now we know how big money plays. What they want to do, like everyone would have had, or so many stop losses would have been below this low here. So big money, straight away, they go down below this low here to pick up everyone's stop losses, so they're picking up Bitcoin cheap. And so, they're just creating more supply for themselves so they can feed their demand. And now, but what we've got here is we've got support here. We've kind of gone below that one there, but we still have support back here. So we need to keep that in mind. Actually, I'm just going to extend that because I can kind of see something. If I extend it back further even, and have it at those levels, I can see that we got resistance here, broken through resistance, broken through support, found resistance again, found resistance, broken through resistance, found support, and almost support, and now we're back at that same support level. So really, actually, this is another thing going for the buying side of it. So you can see that, it's not bad in that sense, but let's just have a look at what it really is. We've gone up and over, and we've got some pretty heavy candles coming down to this level here. Now, what gets me is that these volume pops here. So this is basically saying that, there's huge amounts of selling that's coming into the market at these areas. And these are well above average. It usually takes 2 to 3 of these to turn a market. Now let's just have a look at how many we've got. Okay, well, let's not count that bit there. Even though there was massive distribution at that stage there, stochastics overbought. But there's no real reason to sell at that stage here, and especially when we get an engulfing pattern that happens off the 9. Now it's going to come over here. Now let's just have a look. Stochastics are overbought. We've got a huge increase in selling on that engulfing pattern that's come back down and rested on the 9. And then we've got, a smaller week, and then we've got a massive week that's taken us down to the 50 and brought us back up. But one thing I can see with this is that big money's involved here. It's come all the way back down, and then all of a sudden someone with very deep pockets was buying and brought it all the way back up to the top here. And so this volume here, okay, it's a red day, but there was a fair bit of buying that came back into this day here, into this week as well. We are on the weekly chart over here, as you can see. And then we've come down and we've got an engulfing on the way up, and we've got another candle that's on the way down. But this is just a down week in an uptrend. Like if we're talking about the long-term trend being up, and then we're finding support there. So looking at this as a potential buy, I wouldn't be going anywhere near it. Looking at this as a potential sell, I wouldn't be going anywhere near it either, because we found support there. However, what I do want to point out is that, I'm just going to get rid of some of these drawings. What I do want to point out is this, is that some of the things that we can look at, that's on the weekly chart. So some of the things that we can look at is that when it went from 20,000, it came all the way back down here to 3,100. Then it went up to 14,000 and then came back down to 4,000. Now it's gone up to 64,000 and 70,000 or whatever. Now it's hit the 200 once, twice. Will it do it a third time? If it does do it a third time, we're talking about a 50% decline from here. Can it do 50%, quickly? Absolutely. In these conditions, absolutely. Now, what I'm looking at here is, let's just go to the daily, or actually no. In here, it took 2 days to go from 8,000 to 4,000. 2 days to go, 50% decline. Now, can it happen? Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I wasn't expecting this, and it happened. They gave great buying opportunities, and we ended up getting out where we should have. But having a look back down here, this is it can do massive things in short periods of time. And we can see here we had another massive sell-off, and here, what can it do here? We found support. One thing that I am not liking at this stage with the economic outlook is the financial status of the reserve currency, being the American currency, and so that weighs down about 60% of the Australian dollar. So when it comes to the crypto market, I can see that there's so many big investors into this market now, and if you have a look at the US market, it's behaving very, it's the same. And so when we see the US market declining because the reasons over there it's declining, we've got big institutions now that are trading the US markets and the crypto markets. So they're basically controlling these markets as well. While they're selling the US market, they're also selling the crypto market. And but anyway, I just think that this, if this falls through this support level here, the next target that I'm looking at, I'll just draw these out. The next target that I'll be looking at as a potential will be that one there. So we're talking about that'll be around about the 29,000 mark, somewhere around these lows here. Then the next target that I'll be looking at would be the 200 mark, and this would make sense because we had congestion here and big block buying right from that congestion, and the 200 is here at the same time. That's 19,000. At this stage here. Another place that we could look at, if we really wanted to do, go down and look at it, is this area here. We can see it's hit there and broken through. This would be a nice solid area to find support on if it came down to these areas. And what's that? That's, I actually worked it out. It was between 11.5 and 13,000, and that's pretty much where it is. And so these are the three levels that I'm looking at if it breaks through that. Where could it go potentially if it does break through? And so the first, second, and third levels. One thing to keep in mind, it has touched the 200 once, twice. Doesn't look like it could do it again. Yes, it does. It definitely does look like it could do it again. We do need to keep in mind as well, though, we are in an uptrend at this stage. So let's just wait and see what happens. I just want to do that quick update on Bitcoin, just so you kind of got a more of an idea. I've just kind of been looking at it and thinking, yes, it's not doing the right things. But also remember that after we had the sell-off, this is big money buying back in at these low prices, finding support around here. Now, I've come around here, we've had a first close above the 200 and the 9. And we've come back down, and I was expecting another one here. But anyway, we didn't get it, and we didn't even get a look like it. It went up, and then it collapsed at these stages here. Now, big money know that there's, millions of stop losses just below this candle here. So what they want to do is go down and pick up all those stop losses at, cheap prices, so they're, getting more supply because their demand is so high, feeding their demand, and then, it usually takes off from here. But, like I just told you about the weekly, we need to have a look at these charts on bigger term timeframes, But, you know, we can kind of see here how it's happened. And, you know, like at the moment, you know, big money is looking at this at a reasonably bearish sort of an outlook because we are under all the major moving averages. We're under all the moving averages. You know, the only thing we've done so far is found support, which is good. But, you know, big money looks bearish when we're under the moving average. Big money looks bullish if we're above all the moving averages. Anyway, okay, 10 minutes in. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, let me know and I'll be happy to help. See ya.